Okay, Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan, listen. It was all Adam's fault. It was all his fault. He was the one talking about the horse dewormer or whatever the hell you were taking. I had no idea. I'm just along for the passenger in this car. It was all Adam.
So if you haven't seen, Joe Rogan is not threatening to sue, but flirting with the idea of suing CNN for mischaracterizing him. Now, this is a interview he did with Tom Segura, one of his friends. He goes on there and he goes, they called me a distributor of misinformation. Okay, but you've acknowledged that you distribute misinformation. There's plenty of times where he goes, I'm a moron. Nobody should listen to me. I know I got it wrong, but okay. But he's also upset with CNN for saying that he took horse dewormer. Now, I said something similar on this show. However, I was saying it in jest. I knew that there's a version of ivermectin that is for humans. I might have said it on the show, although I don't know if I was clear enough. But there's a version of ivermectin that is for humans, and there's a version that is not for humans. It's horse dewormer, right? So the version that's for humans is mostly approved for like skin rashes or like clearing up lice. Obviously, Joe Rogan doesn't have fucking lice. He doesn't have fucking hair. So
I could, just not the hair we could see.
Well, sure. So what a lot of people were doing, since they couldn't get ivermectin prescribed for COVID, they would go to their doctor, ask for ivermectin. They'd say, no, that's not what we're using that for. They would go to their vet and say, my fucking horse has fucking parasites. I'd like the ivermectin. And they would actually take the horse version. A lot of people said, I hope that Joe Rogan is not doing this. And most of us who knew that he probably wasn't, because he's a millionaire and could probably pay a doctor to give him whatever the fuck he wants, we're sort of making fun of him because there are people on his side of the fence that are doing that stuff, knowing that he probably isn't. With that said, this video that he put out with Tom is the first time that he actually said, no, I went to a doctor and got the real stuff.
Okay, so I didn't know that there was a human version and a horse version.
Yes, I knew that. I thought I made that clear on the show.
No, I didn't know there was a. This is the first time I'm hearing there's two different versions of it.
Yeah, there's not really two. There's a slight variation for horses and a slight variation for humans. A much smaller dose for humans than for horses. But yeah, there is. With that said, the ivermectin isn't what fucking fixed this guy. The what is it? The shit that Trump took, the monoclonal antibodies. That's what they actually, I'm sure, actually did the job. Ivermectin is just something that, like I said, it's not even really it's meant for fucking fixing lice and for horse parasites or whatever. I don't think. Listen, CNN. I didn't see the CNN piece. I don't know. Did you see it? You watched?
I don't have fucking CNN.
Okay, I didn't see the CNN piece. I know that when I said it, and it was kind of like, yeah, fucking Joe Rogan's taking the horse parasite shit or whatever. I meant it in jest, and I am sure that anyone else that said it in jest. With that said, I'm sure Joe Rogan's not going to sue us. He's actually said, I don't care about the guys on the internet saying it, whatever. But
no, he was, okay, guys, just so everybody's aware. When he said guys on the internet, he was specifically talking about us, these two guys on the internet. Nobody else. He was referring to us as the lawsuit is coming down the pipe with Adam Andrews' name on it. He's the one taking the lawsuit.
With that said, we're at a point in life where this virus is coming. There's no fucking hiding from it. So you got the choices of taking the vaccine and dealing with the potential side effects that are not really proven to be there. I mean, there's some risk of like a heart attack. There's some risk of like you'll fucking get tired or whatever. But for the most part, those side effects are not there. There's very real side effects to the other side of the equation. I've heard, I don't know, so I don't want to say it, but there's some pretty serious side effects to ivermectin that have been floating around. I haven't had a chance to fact check it, so I'm not actually going to say it. With that said, your options are there. You don't get the vaccine, you're gonna have a tough go of it, but maybe you'll survive, maybe you won't. You're gonna have some medical options that are not as good, that are also going to provide side effects. So everybody's got to weigh their option. I know I went pretty hard at Joe Rogan I mean, it's an ironic story. He's talks about misinformation, how he doesn't need the vaccine, and then he gets sick, and the first thing he's doing is going after things that are going to have more worse side effects.
Yeah, we called him a bit of a moron. We kind of said things like that, which is true because, like, I think the week before that, like, 3 weeks ago, somebody came on his show, a doctor, and said, "You've been spreading all this misinformation, right?" So then it came out, and he's like, "I'm taking ivermectin." I had no idea till now that there was a human version and a horse version. That's on me. But yet again, Joe Rogan, whatever you take, don't tell people, because you just set yourself up for failure. You're just setting yourself up. That's basically it.
Yeah, but with all that said, I'm gonna say I've got the vaccine, so I respect people. If you don't want to get the vaccine, that's your choice. You're gonna have a much harder go of this when you do encounter COVID, because you will encounter COVID and you will get it, and so will I, but my body will have the antibodies to fight it off right away. So I respect your choice. You respect my choice. I mentioned earlier on the show that I was at a metal show. I was the only one that wore a mask, and everybody kind of looked at me like, that guy's wearing a fucking mask. Me and my girlfriend were the only ones that wore a mask the whole time, and I don't care. Nobody, listen, here's the thing. Nobody treated me any different. They all treated me the same. There was one guy who tried to pull my mask on, and I kind of fucking flexed on him, and he goes, "Whoa, now you're going to fucking punch me?" Well, not because you don't want me to wear a mask, because you were fucking disrespectful about it. But
no. What the fuck? What's wrong with you? Just punch that guy in the face.
Well, I flexed on him, and he immediately fucking cowered and was like, "Well, now you're gonna beat me up?" And it's like, "Well, you fucking tried to pull my mask off." Well, he goes, "Well, I just want to see what your face looked like."
Yeah, you want to see my face?
Treat me like a human being. So the point that I want to make is don't be that guy, and I will not be that guy. I didn't go up to everybody and say, "You should have a mask on," just like they didn't come up to me and try to pull my mask off, except for that guy. So I'm not going to be that guy. You guys don't be that guy. Just be the rest of the people that were there that were like, "Hey, cool, he's got a mask. That's his choice." And I was like, "Hey, cool, they don't want to wear a mask. That's their choice. Hey, cool, I got the vaccine. Hey, cool, you don't got the vaccine. You're going to have a rough go of it. I'm not. Maybe I'll have side effects. You're probably going to have side effects if you take ivermectin or whatever the fuck else. Live and let live, man. That's really how it is." I know I went a little bit hard, and John Mark, we both went a little bit hard on Joe Rogan. At the end of the day, let people have their own choice,
Listen, man, I don't care who you are. If you want to wear a mask, in 2 years from now, if you're still wearing a mask, that's on you. I don't care. It's like the people who rip somebody for they're in their car, and they're like, "Oh, you're wearing a mask in your car." Sometimes people forget to have it on. Some people are just like, "You know what? I got to go. I got to get going quick. I'm late. I just have my mask on. I ran to the store. I got to go 2 blocks to work. I'm not going to take it off because then I'll lose it or whatever have you." I don't care. Wear a mask. Don't wear a mask. Whatever you want to do, man, I'm cool with. But wherever your show was, if it was inside and there was no mask, the leader of that show can be charged and sued. So
well, I'm not going to get into any of the details about that. What I will say, though, is
I would have punched that kid, by the way.
Well, it was actually an old man. The only reason I didn't is because it was an old man that decided.
I would have broke his hip.
But what I will say, though, is back to what you were saying about the masks in 2 years. There is the last pandemic. Basically, masks were prevalent back then, and in Asia, they chose to continue to be considerate. And in Asia, before COVID-19 hit, people still wore masks if they felt a little bit, congested or whatever. They wore a mask out of courtesy to people around them. In North America, people kind of puffed out their chest and they said, "Oh, I don't want to do that. I'm not going to be some flimsy, flumsy, whatever, wearing a mask." I would like to see, and I think that North America has gotten a little bit more considerate, and I would like to see people more accepting of somebody choosing to wear a mask during cold and flu season. If somebody's got a bit of tickle in their throat and they want to wear a mask, I think we should let them.
I'm good with it, man. Of course, do whatever you want to do, man.
Yeah.
I don't care. Listen, because I don't care what you wear. I really don't care.
And I'm going to go one step further and say that while I was at this show, not only was I wearing it for COVID, but somebody was like, "Why don't you just take the mask off? You're double vaxxed." And I took it off for a second, and they were smoking cigarettes. And I immediately was like, "You know what? Right now, I'm not concerned about COVID, but I'm going to put the mask on just because of the cigarettes." And I hope that it becomes more socially acceptable. Not that I really care, because like I said, I was the only guy there in a mask, and I still fucking wore it and I fucking owned it and didn't really give a fuck. But with that said, I do hope it becomes more socially acceptable, because there's people smoking. There's people, smoking weed. I am straight edge, so having a mask on is kind of, it was kind of nice. First time I've ever done that, and yeah, I'm actually happy to do it, and I hope it sticks around.